The strangest part of the Sumerian star map is not that it shows a second moon. It is that the second moon is marked as erased from time, not destroyed in a simple way, not peacefully gone, erased. Its path stops, its symbol breaks, and beside it the map places signs of silence, water, and forbidden remembrance, as if the Sumerians were preserving the memory of something the world was later forced to forget. That is why this story matters. Ancient people built calendars around the heavens. If a second moon once appeared in their sky, even briefly, it would not be a small omen. It would change time, ritual, kingship, and the meaning of every night that followed. And if that moon disappeared, the loss would not only be astronomical, it would be spiritual. The sky would no longer match the old records. Stay until the end, because the final symbol may reveal what happened on the night it disappeared, and why the map suggests the second moon may not be gone forever. To understand why this Sumerian star map is so disturbing, we have to begin with one idea. The Sumerians did not watch the sky casually. They watched it like their lives depended on it. The moon was not just a silver light above the desert. It was a calendar, a divine clock, a sign that told priests when to open rituals, farmers when to trust the seasons, and kings whether the heavens still approved of their rule. So if a Sumerian star map shows a second moon, the question is not simply, did someone draw an extra circle? The question is, why was it marked like something the world was not allowed to remember? Because this second moon is not drawn as a celebration. It is not placed in the sky like a harmless twin. Its symbol is broken, its path stops, and beside it are marks tied to silence, water, and forbidden remembrance. As if the mapmaker was not simply recording a heavenly object, he was recording an erasure. That is the first open loop. What does it mean for a moon to be erased from time? A destroyed moon can leave debris. A lost moon can become legend. A hidden moon can become prophecy. But a moon erased from time suggests something deeper. It means its cycle was removed from memory. Its rituals stopped. Its names were no longer spoken. Its place in the calendar was cut out, as if the priests decided the safest way to survive after its disappearance was to pretend the sky had always been this way. One moon, one calendar, one order. But the star map disagrees. It shows another order, an older order. A time when the night had two rulers. Imagine a Sumerian priest standing on a temple roof before dawn. The city below is silent. The river moves beyond the walls. Oil lamps burn low in the courtyards. In his hands, the priest holds a star record copied from an older source, one already damaged before his grandfather was born. He knows the moon's cycle. He knows its rising. He knows its disappearance. He knows the sacred nights. But on this map, there is a second path, a second light, a second body above Earth, and then suddenly the path ends. No return, no next phase, no completed cycle. Only a broken mark beside the night it vanished. The priest does not smile at the mystery. He lowers his voice. Because in the ancient world, a broken sky was never just astronomy. It was judgment. It was warning. It was the sign that the order holding heaven and earth together had failed. This is why the map feels different from a mythic drawing. A myth can be flexible. A story can change with every generation. But a star map tries to preserve order. It fixes paths. It marks cycles. It records what should return. And the second moon does not return. That absence becomes the message. The second open loop is simple and terrifying. What happened on the night it disappeared? The map gives clues, but not in modern language. There is no clean sentence saying, on this night, the second moon fell. Ancient star maps do not speak like that. They speak through signs, a broken lunar path, a dark mark beside the vanished body, water symbols below, a silent sign near the temple markers, and a warning mark where the second moon cycle should have continued. Taken together, the symbols suggest the disappearance was not quiet. It affected the world beneath it. The waters changed. The temples fell silent. The calendar broke, and the old records had to be rewritten around the moon that remained. That is the terrifying part. The disappearance of the second moon was not treated like a distant sky event. It was treated like a wound in time. Because if there were once two lunar cycles, everything would have been built around them. Rituals, harvests, omens, kingship, sacred nights, the timing of offerings, the counting of months. Then one night, one of those cycles ends, not slowly, not gently. It disappears. The priests would face an impossible problem. How do you maintain divine order when the sky itself no longer follows the old tablets? How do you explain to the people that one of the lights used to measure sacred time is gone? How do you tell a king that the heaven under which he was crowned no longer exists? Maybe that is why the second moon was erased. Not because people forgot it naturally, because remembering it became dangerous. A remembered second moon would keep asking questions. Why did it vanish? Will it return? Was it taken? Did mankind cause it? Did the gods hide it? Was the world before it disappeared different from ours? Those questions could break trust in priests, kings, and the entire calendar of the city. So the safest answer was silence. No songs, no public rites, no repeated name, no teaching of the second path, only a hidden star map, preserved for those who needed to know that the sky had not always been one moon sky. This is where the water symbols matter, because the map ties the vanished moon to disturbed waters. In ancient thinking, the moon and water were deeply connected. The moon measured time, and water answered time. Rivers rose and withdrew. Floods came in seasons. Sacred basins reflected the sky like mirrors placed on earth. So when the second moon vanished, the map suggests the waters responded. Maybe the ancient memory was of floods, maybe of seas pulling back, maybe of rivers behaving strangely, maybe of a night when the sky changed, and the waters below moved as if something had struck the hidden order of the world. To modern ears, that sounds like myth. But myth often preserves emotional truth when exact memory has collapsed. A sky event becomes a divine battle. A flood becomes punishment. A falling body becomes a god cast down. A broken lunar cycle becomes the moon erased from time. The map may not be a scientific diagram, but it may be a memory of terror, a memory of people looking up and realizing the night they trusted was no longer stable. That is the third open loop. Was the second moon truly gone, or was it hidden? Because the final mark beside the broken path is not only a destruction sign, it is also close to a sealing sign. In the language of ancient mystery, that difference matters. Destroyed means ended. Sealed means kept away. Destroyed means no return. Sealed means the door is closed until something opens it. And if the second moon was marked as sealed, then the map is not just recording a disappearance, it is warning of a return. Now we have to follow the night the second moon vanished, because the map does not show it as one isolated mark. It shows a sequence. First, the second moon's path becomes unstable. The earlier marks are orderly, placed with care, moving across the sky in a repeated rhythm. Then, near the disappearance point, the line begins to break. That suggests the change was noticed before the final night. The second moon did not simply vanish without warning. Its cycle changed. Its light may have dimmed. Its position may have shifted. Its timing may have become wrong. And in the Sumerian world, a wrong sky was a terrifying thing. A farmer might miss a sign. A merchant might ignore an omen. But priests trained to watch the heavens would notice. They would see the second moon rising too late, fading too early, moving where the older records said it should not move. At first, they would argue. One priest would blame the copyist. Another would check older tablets. A third would climb the temple steps night after night, watching in silence. Then the truth would become impossible to deny. The second moon was leaving its path. Imagine the city on the final week. The air is thick with dust. The river smells strange. The markets are still open, but people speak more quietly than usual because rumors have started to move. The priests have stopped announcing certain rituals. The singers are told to wait. Offerings are prepared but not placed. The king asks for an explanation and receives only careful words. The sky is under observation. That is what priests say when they are afraid. Then comes the night. The map marks it with a dark symbol, not an ordinary eclipse, not a normal disappearance. A silent sign appears beside the second moon, as if every voice connected to it stopped at once. The temple drums do not sound, the sacred names are not spoken. The water basins are covered, and the watchers climb to the highest roof in the city. There are two moons in the sky. The familiar one remains steady. The second one is dimmer. Wrong. Its edge looks broken or shadowed or burning with a light that does not belong to the ordinary night. The people below do not understand what they are seeing, but the priests do. The second moon is crossing the final mark. Then the map's broken path ends. This is the moment the star record becomes terrifying, because ancient maps usually preserve cycles. They show what returns. But here, the cycle is cut. That means after this night, the second moon was no longer seen in the expected way. No next rising, no next month, no restored order, only absence. And absence in the ancient world had to be explained. The first explanation may have been that the second moon died. The second may have been that it was taken by the gods. The third may have been that it fell into the waters. That may be why water symbols appear under the broken path. The map seems to connect the disappearance with the deep. Some later storytellers might say the moon sank beneath the sea. Others might say its body was swallowed by the lower waters. Others might say the first gods sealed it away because its light had become dangerous. Each version would be myth, but each myth would preserve the same core image. The second moon left the sky and the waters answered. Now comes the most disturbing part of the map. After the disappearance, the remaining moon is drawn differently. Not larger, not broken, but isolated. The sky is reorganized around one survivor. That tells us the map maker understood a before and after. Before, two paths. After, one path. Before, dual rhythm. After, singular time. That means the disappearance of the second moon may have forced a total reset of sacred time. Calendars would be rewritten, rituals reassigned, old festivals removed or reinterpreted. The name of the vanished moon forbidden because every mention of it reminded people that the world had lost something. This is how erasure works. It is not always the destruction of records. Sometimes it is the control of memory. The map may have survived because priests needed the truth hidden from the public but preserved within the temple. They needed to know why some old rites had no visible moon anymore. They needed to know why certain nights were dangerous. They needed to know why water rituals once tied to a second lunar path had been sealed. So they kept the star map, but they buried its meaning. Over generations, the second moon became a secret, then a forbidden memory, then an impossible symbol, then a mystery for a future world to rediscover. And that raises the final open loop before the climax. If the second moon was erased from time, who erased it? Nature, the gods, the priests, or the beings who feared what its return would announce? Because the map does not only show disappearance, it shows prohibition. There is a warning mark beside the broken path, and its placement suggests the map maker was not simply grieving the loss. He was warning future readers not to restore the memory too carelessly. That is strange. Why would remembering a vanished moon be dangerous, unless the memory itself was tied to a cycle, a return condition, a prophecy? If the second moon was destroyed, memory is harmless. But if it was sealed, memory becomes dangerous. Because what is sealed may answer when called. What is forgotten may remain still. What is remembered may begin to return. This connects to the darkest interpretation of the star map. The second moon did not disappear forever. It was removed from visible time. Its path stopped in the sky we can see, but perhaps not in the hidden order of the heavens. The map does not say it ceased to exist. It says it was erased, and erased things can sometimes be restored. That may be why the final symbol resembles both silence and warning. Do not speak of it. Do not rebuild its calendar. Do not call the second path, because the night it disappeared may not have been the end of the story. It may have been the beginning of a waiting period. Imagine the last priest who understood the map. He stands alone in a sealed archive, holding a copy of the star record. He knows the public rituals now follow only one moon. He knows the old songs have been changed. He knows the second lunar name is no longer spoken outside the deepest chamber. But he also knows the final line of the interpretation. When the erased light is remembered, the night begins to search for it. That is why the map is dangerous. It does not merely record a vanished moon. It preserves the path by which memory might find it again. By this point, the Sumerian star map has revealed three impossible ideas. There were two lunar paths above Earth. One vanished on a marked night tied to silence and disturbed waters. And the second moon may not have been destroyed, but erased from visible time. Now the final question becomes unavoidable. If the second moon was erased, what happens when the sky remembers it? And now we reach the night the Sumerian star map was built around. The night the second moon disappeared. Not faded, not completed its cycle, not passed behind a cloud. Disappeared. The map shows the second lunar path breaking just before the final mark. The old rhythm fails, the symbols tighten, water signs gather beneath it. The silence mark appears beside the temple line. And then the second moon's path ends. That is the revelation. The Sumerians were not just recording a strange light. They were preserving the memory of a night when the sky lost one of its rulers. Imagine the watchers on the temple roof. The first moon is still there, cold and steady. But the second moon hangs lower, darker, wrong. Its edge looks damaged, as if the night itself has taken a bite from it. Below, the city waits. No drums, no hymns, no public rite. Only priests staring upward while the river below begins to move in a way no one can explain. Then the second moon breaks from its path. For a moment, the sky glows, the water answers, the old calendar dies. And when morning comes, the world still exists. But time is no longer the same. That is why the map says the moon was erased from time. Not because it never existed, because after that night, everything tied to it had to be removed. Its rituals, its songs, its sacred nights, its name. The priests did not only watch a moon disappear, they watched an entire order of time collapse. And the final symbol beside the broken path is the most frightening of all. It is not only a sign of destruction, it is a sign of sealing, which means the Sumerian map may not be saying the second moon was gone forever. It may be saying it was hidden from the visible sky, waiting beyond time. And if that erased light ever returns, the Sumerians may have feared it would not be a new moon at all. It would be the return of the night the world was forced to forget. So what does the Sumerian star map really leave us with? Two lunar paths, one surviving moon, one broken moon, a marked night tied to silence, disturbed waters, and forbidden remembrance. Maybe this map is only symbolic. Maybe the second moon represents a lost age, a dead god, an erased calendar, or a catastrophic omen that ancient priests described through lunar imagery. Maybe it was never a true moon in the modern sense. Maybe it was a comet, a bright wandering body, an eclipse memory, or a sacred object that later generations misunderstood. But even as myth, the warning is powerful, because the Sumerians understood something most people forget. The sky is not just above us. It is the structure by which civilization measures reality. Break the sky, and you break time. That is why the disappearance of the second moon could not remain a normal memory. It had to be controlled, hidden, buried inside star maps and temple silence, because remembering it too clearly would raise the question no priest wanted to answer. If the sky changed once, could it change again? In the end, the map does not simply show a second moon. It shows the wound left behind after that moon vanished. And perhaps the most disturbing part is not that the Sumerians remembered the night it disappeared. It is that they marked it as erased, not destroyed. And if this Sumerian star map shows the night the second moon disappeared, there is another ancient map that shows two moons above Earth. And what happened to the first one? Watch that video next, because once you understand the erased moon, the older map stops looking like a mystery and starts looking like the first warning from a sky that has already broken once.